Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be the start of a new series on my channel. In this series I'm going to pick my top 3 favorites of each category. So I'm going to pick my top 3 drugstore products and my top 3 high-end products, and today's products are going to be foundations. So I am going to go ahead and start with the drugstore and then go into high-end. So let's go ahead and get started. So I am going to go from 3 to 1. So the foundation that comes in third place in the drugstore category is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundations. I do have my winter shade and my summer shade, which right now I'm in between, so if I want to use these I have to use both. But I really like this foundation because, one, it's dirt cheap, and they do have a pretty good shade range for drugstore. They really do, especially on their website. I'm pretty sure they have more shades on their website. But these foundations are so nice because they're like an in-between. They're like not completely dewy, but they're not completely matte. They're like satin that leans more toward dewy, I would say. They have really nice wear time. I really like them. I know lots of people don't like this formula, but I actually really do. You're going to find out that a lot of these are going to be very sheer, light to medium coverage foundations, because if I do wear a foundation, which I don't wear foundations often, I do want a light to medium coverage. I'm not a huge fan of full coverage because it just doesn't look very natural on my skin, and I'm not a fan of that. But I really do like the coverage. It has a nice, decent light coverage, and you can build it up if you want. So I really like these. These are only like $5 at Walmart. And they do sell Wet n Wild at Ulta now, so I just really like these foundations. The shades that I have for the Wet n Wild foundations are Soft Beige, which is light, medium, warm, and then Soft Ivory, which is light, warm. And these do have that little paddle applicator, which I don't mind. I don't mind putting it onto my face. So number 2 in the drugstore category is the Revlon ColorStay Combination Oily, and I have mine in the shade 250 Fresh Beige. This has a really nice pump, and I really like the way that this wears. They do have a combo dry option if you have more dry skin, but my skin tends to be more oily, so that's why I do like the combo oily formulation. This does have sunscreen. It has SPF 15 in it, and I really like the way that this looks on the skin because it is more of a medium coverage foundation, but it looks gorgeous. It blends out really nice, and it just evens the skin tone really nice. Unfortunately, Revlon is not cruelty free, so if that is an issue for you, you won't be able to use this product, but I really enjoy the way that this looks on my skin. I just can't say enough good things about this foundation. So the product that comes in first for the drugstore is actually one that I've recently bought, and it is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation with SPF 20. I have mine in the shade LW2. I love this foundation. For one, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous with that nice glass packaging. This just looks stunning on my skin. It is the foundation that I am wearing today, and I love the way this looks. This is actually, out of all of these foundations, this is the one, other than that one light Wet n Wild shade, this is the only one that actually matches me right now. All of the rest of them are like my summer shade, but I absolutely love the way that this looks on my skin. It's like a light medium coverage, leaning more towards light. You can build it up though, with a satin to dewy finish, which generally I don't like where I am more oily, but I love the way that it wears. It just looks very natural, and it evens out the tone without being too heavy, and I absolutely love this foundation. Similar to the Wet n Wild foundation, this does have a big fat doe foot applicator, which once again, that doesn't bother me. I know once it starts to get down here, it's not going to be able to reach though, so I am probably going to have to, like, you know, dip it out onto my hand, but I absolutely love this foundation. It is absolutely gorgeous. I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, I will have all of these listed down for you, as well as my shades, just in case we may be like similar tones. You know which ones that I use, so maybe you can check them out in case that might be helpful. I don't know. So now we're going to move on to high end. So while I had those in like third to first order, these aren't in any particular order, honestly, because they're all about the same to me, and I'm going to be completely 110% honest with you. Once I run out with these, I'm probably not going to repurchase just because of the price point. Just because those drugstore products are just as good, if not better, than these high-end products, and they are half the price. So I probably will not be repurchasing these. If price point isn't an issue for you, then these products I would definitely recommend. So the first one that I have to talk about is the Smashbox Camera Ready BB Water Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I have mine in the shade Light Natural. I really like this. It's like a dewy kind of finish, and it's very lightweight, and because, you know, it's water, and it does come in like that dropper formula because it's water. I really like the way this looks on my skin. It's just like a nice light layer, and it's very lightweight, so it is very nice for summer and springtime where it's a little more humid out, and it just kind of is, I don't know, I really, really like it. It's very lightweight, but it has really nice coverage. It's really, really good, and I highly recommend it. The next one I had to talk about is actually on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and it is the Hourglass Vanish foundation stick, and I have mine in the shade Warm Ivory. This is a stick foundation, and it is extraordinarily full coverage. I got this using Ipsy points a long, long time ago, so I did not pay for this, but I know that this is very, very expensive. It's like almost 50 bucks, I think. This is extremely full coverage, and it does have a satin dewy finish. It's interesting where I am a very oily person. Most of these have satin dewy instead of like matte finishes, but I do not like the way matte foundations look. This is stupid expensive, and it's extremely full coverage, but I really like it because while it's extremely full coverage, it evens out my skin tone and it doesn't look very heavy on the skin. It does look a little tiny bit heavy if you put it in a little too much. But overall, this is a really beautiful foundation if you are looking for more full coverage. So this one's probably my favorite of all the high-end products I'm talking about, and it is the Dior Nude Air Serum de Tint. I have mine in the shade 030. This is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. It comes with a nice little dropper as well. It just smells fancy. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it, but it smells fancy. This is more of a matte finish. When you apply it with a brush, it just kind of smooths over the skin and evens everything out with like a velvety kind of matte finish, which I really enjoy. And just like the Smashbox one, this is very light, very nice for summertime. That's why I have it in the deep shade. This is the most expensive one I'm talking about. This was like $53. I feel a little embarrassed saying that I spent that much on a foundation, but this is a very gorgeous foundation. I don't think I'll repurchase just for the price point, and they're not cruelty free, and I'm kind of trying to become cruelty free with my collection, so I am trying to move all of my cruelty free things out, and especially if they're going to be this expensive, I'm definitely not going to repurchase. But this does look absolutely stunning on the skin. It wears really nicely and it blends really nicely, and I can't say enough good things about this, except it's not cruelty free, which is a total bummer. So I do have an honorable mention product, and that is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. This was really super, super popular on YouTube quite a few years ago, and not a lot of people talk about it now because there's so many products out now, but this was hyped up a lot on YouTube, and the hype is real. This is a really, really, really good foundation. It has similar coverage to the Revlon ColorStay. I would compare the two in formula, but I think this one just wears a little nicer. I do only have a sample, and I probably won't buy full size since Makeup Forever is not cruelty free, but I really, really do like this foundation. It has a really, really good formula and really, really nice staying power. So those have been my top 3 drugstore and high-end foundations. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for my concealer video. It will be next. Make sure you hit the bell down below so you'll be notified when that video is posted. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying this new series. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe, please feel free, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.